I just saw you guys. Welcome to the Braxton Beat. A very special guest is ready to rock and roll with us. I know you guys already know who it is. Pretty big deal because this is going to be a big Braxton Beat. So without further ado, where is he? Without further ado, man. Okay. This is all just to keep you on the edge of your seats, guys. Wait, found him? He's here.
Oh my God.
I got
you know I'm too old for this.
You are. Oh wait. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. You are not too old for this.
Oh my goodness. I got these giant hot dog fingers. I'm trying to read these little faces and press here and follow the rules. And man, okay, I can calm down now. For a minute, I'm like, I'm here. I swear I'm here.
If it makes this happens to me every single week, and it's not even.
Did I lose you? Oh, okay.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
All right.
This is crazy.
It's technology. Look, it's laid back.
I
It's
know
not
it.
that serious here. I'm just as bad at it, if you can't already tell.
Well, I
So
think you're a lot better
everyone-
than I am.
So everyone, please say
Without
hello
further ado,
to my guest, the world's largest athlete whose accolades stretch further than his 7-foot stature, one of the best and most feared superstars to ever do the thing. And this man also portrays the lovable and goofy dad on the Netflix hit The Big Show. The Big Show.
well, thank you very much for having me. That's a wonderful intro. When you were talking about dominant performer and all that, I thought you were going to say, in horrible Instagram live video check-in guy. Good gracious.
Look, well, you're here, and that's all that matters. And you are the world's largest athlete, and I'm the world's smallest interviewer. And I think that in itself should be its own show. We need to talk about this.
That should be its own. I know. I already told you, when we get to season 2, I'm going to get you on the show. So, we've got that worked out. I did that on the bump, so I got you hooked up. So
I thought maybe you forgot. I didn't want to bring it back up.
I don't forget. No, I'm like an elephant. I don't forget anything.
Well, I want to talk about the Big Show here in a little bit, but first, I do want to chat about what we've been seeing on WWE TV lately. 4 days ago was Backlash. We saw Randy Orton seemingly finish Edge the next day. Seemingly did the same thing to Edge's best friend, Christian. And after Monday Night Raw Talk, you basically said that you would be the wrong person for Randy to target, primarily because you're not afraid of him. Do you care to elaborate on that?
Well, let's be honest about things. I think Randy's one of the best our business has ever seen. He makes everything in the ring look easy. But I'm not afraid of Randy. I never have been. I've known him since he was a kid. So that, when he goes to those places, those dark places, that's part of who he is. It doesn't intimidate me. It doesn't worry me. It's that kind of thing. If anything, it's good. Okay, you're that bad. You're that tough. Fine. Let's find out. I think Randy's really feeling himself right now. I think there's a little bit of a void of challenges for Randy right now. Randy started out in this business with the Attitude Era and a lot of monsters that were in this business and a lot of really tough talent. And I think now he's seasoned, he's a veteran, he's at the top, there's no doubt, and he's really kind of feeling himself a little bit. He tried to make this statement years ago, and maybe he wasn't quite ready for it because he was still kind of young. But now, everything's firing in all cylinders. So, I need to have a discussion with Randy a little bit about the attitude. There's working, and then there's just, being destructive. And right now, I think he's a little destructive. So we'll have that chat. That's part of being the old dog in the yard. You have to have a chat with some of them every now and then.
And I love that you say he's destructive, but he also is undoubtedly very successful. You said you've known him for years. Is there any part of you are you surprised at all that he's made it this far? Have you always known this kid's got it?
No, the only victim that Randy ever had, I think, in all sincerity, was himself. Randy was the only thing holding Randy back was himself. This guy has got every tool that it takes to be a WWE superstar. He's got athleticism, he's good looking, he's got size, if you go down the checklist of everything. But Randy sometimes will get in his own way, and I see that now he's a lot sharper than I've ever seen him. He's more focused. And even when you see Randy do his interviews are so much more on point. He's speaking from a place of experience and passion. So yeah, he's fired up. So that's a good chance. That's a good time for me to step in and see what's going on.
I agree. I want to actually maybe be the moderator for the two of you.
Yeah, we'll have a mediation. Yeah,
I know.
yeah. We used to call that wrestler's court. We don't have that anymore.
Let's get it back going. Well, before Backlash, you were on a WWE virtual roundtable alongside my bump co-host, or with my bump co-host Matt Camp, and he asked you what you felt was the greatest WWE match, wrestling match of all time. You mentioned the first Taker-Shawn match.
Right.
So now 4 days removed from Backlash, do you think that Randy and Edge lived up to those expectations of being the greatest wrestling match ever?
I mean, that's an incredible moniker to put on anybody's head. To have the greatest wrestling match ever, there's so many components to go into it, with the guys involved in the ring, the story that they're telling, and the involvement of the crowd. Sometimes the energy of the crowd makes it the greatest match ever, because that energy translates to the athletes in the ring and then to the fans that are in the arena and the fans watching at home. I think in order to really weigh that match as the greatest match ever, from a technical standpoint and execution standpoint, yeah, it was absolutely amazing. You couldn't find anything wrong with it. To give it that moniker as the greatest match ever, that needed to be done in front of 85, 90,000 people. 80,000 people would have torn the place down. Everybody would have been talking about it. Now, was it a Babe Ruth, or to call your shot where you're going to hit the home run? Yeah, it was a pretty bold statement. But that's sometimes you have to do that to challenge yourself. To push yourself, because sometimes it's hard in front of an arena without a crowd. So you put that kind of moniker out there, you put that kind of statement out there, then you got to push yourself. And either way, the fans came out with it. They came out with a great match, two incredible, legends, a Hall of Famer and definitely a future Hall of Famer with Randy. And that's a match that people can go back and look at from a technical perspective and see how good it really was.
Absolutely. Well, on Raw, we saw you come out and come to the aid of the Viking Prophets.
I love those guys. They're so much fun. Oh my gosh, and they're so much fun to watch. I've enjoyed that entire series, that entire anything you can do, I can do better. It's one of the highlights for me to catch on Raw. It's really good.
Well, you said you love those guys. What is it that you love about, both teams, Viking Raiders and the Street Profits?
Both teams have personalities. I love the eccentricities of both, the different dichotomies of both teams, and the commitment to performance. And all four are incredible athletes. They all work well together, and they work well on their own as far as their own individual characters and what they bring to the table. But this vehicle that they've been using now to promote with I think the pole vaulting one so far has been the one that just absolutely made me just, like I had to stop from laughing so hard I was crying, because I was like, I couldn't imagine what was going to happen. I was ready for the pole vault to snap, something to have. I did not expect, this beautiful camera shot of this Viking flying over the bar. It was just, for me, it was just funny.
It was so good. Oh, well, that's, to four guys, I guess, that you just spoke highly of. Have you had an eye or noticed any up-and-coming talent across all brands that you are excited to really see go far? Or any factors that you've noticed?
There's a lot of amazing talent that we have now. And now, to me, it seems like there's a lot of opportunity for that talent to step up. I know I was a little surprised when we got in the ring with the big ninja that was in there.
Huge!
It's huge. I almost started laughing. I'm like, if you if you have a giant ninja in the ring and you raise it with another giant, the other giant should at least be taller, the one you bring in, because it's kind of like, it's kind of like, oh, but we'll see. Definitely keep an eye on that young man, see where he's going in his career. Um, he's got
And do you have
a, hmm?
I mean, and as a big man, like, you're a big man, you got Braun Strowman, like, what words of wisdom do you give to other, like, up and coming big men in this company, especially when we are seeing a lot of the smaller cruiserweight type guys dominating these days?
Well, that's the thing, because it's a performance industry. It used to be back in the days that being big was good enough. Now it takes more than that. There's more of a demand for athleticism and execution and technique, personality, and it's a very selective group of people that can make it to the top and get over. So just because you're big, yeah, you'll get on TV, but if you can't back it up, you won't be on TV long. So that's one of the things that I talked to Braun about early in his career, about being careful with what he does, showing the strong suits that suit him, and not getting lost in the crowd. So, and I think, other than that, he's taken that and ran with it. I think he's doing fine now. He doesn't need any help from me anymore. He's on his own now.
I know he's doing awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I for one, I know everyone watching it. I hope to see more of you in the WWE ring. A lot more of the Big Show.
I
But
think I'll be
for those,
around a little bit more. Yeah, yeah. I feel like
good.
Snake Plissken from Escape from New York. Like some people, like, oh man, you're still alive. I'm like, yeah, I'm still alive. Yeah,
Oh, the longevity of this man.
yeah,
Well, by
that's
the
it.
way, just to talk about getting that match that you were on Monday, I just want to say I was laughing out loud when I was watching the ninjas come at you, and the way you just shoved them to the side, like they were just
Uh,
like. It
well,
reminded me of when I was a kid.
that's the old school Big Show. That's the old school Giant trick. They try to
I
bum
just
rush
love
you.
it.
It's the attack plan of get him before he gets all the way in the ring, and you just shove him off and reset, and now we'll see what's up. Yeah,
I,
it's like shooing flies, I guess. I don't know.
was a small person, I related to those ninjas because as a kid, I would charge my siblings. So I was angry with them, and they would just kind of toss me to the side like that. So I
Oh,
got
that's
it.
oh,
Well, let's talk about outside of the ring, the
right,
Big Show season 1 on Netflix.
right.
Right? I know you and I talked about this when you were on the bump, but even a couple more months removed from it, is it still surreal to you to think that you, this big bad guy who's been in the ring all these years, got his own comedy on Netflix playing this like big goofy dad?
I think I've driven everyone in WWE nuts for years. I said before that I got the bug for this when I got the guest star with Rock on Saturday Night Live when he let us do that little appearance there, and that live comedy and that interaction with the crowd in a skit type deal. Really, like, I can do this. I can do this. It's one of those kind of things that you can do it. And at first, I got the head nods and yeah, you did good, but wrestle kid, that kind of a thing. And then as time went on, I still kept driving people nuts about it. And then when this partnership came up with Netflix and WWE, they were looking for a wrestler who had a family, that kind of a thing, was maybe retired and learning to be re-involved with the family. Luckily, they gave me that opportunity. I don't know if they did it just to shut me up or they really thought I could do it, but
Oh, you're
I think
perfect for it.
I
There's no one
think
else
we
that can play
delivered.
that.
I think we delivered really well. I mean, sometimes it was. I think the first day I was on set, it was crazy because all the production people that run around set that do all the things, all the golf carts had the big show on the golf carts, and I was like, wow, this is really happening. This is here. So had a great time with it. Got blessed with an incredible cast. I call them my girls, which means Allison and Ray Lynn and Lily Brooks and Juliet. They're all four of them are my girls. They're the really good actresses that surround me and help pull me along. And I learned from all four of them. They're amazing to work with.
Did you have like a favorite part? I mean, that's probably like a horrible question to ask, but like, what
No,
was your
I've
favorite
liked
part
a
of it?
lot of different scenes with all of them. I know with Ray Lynn, it was the episode where we did our famous hot dog tater tot casserole. Because it was funny because Ray Lynn and I were arguing, or Lola and I were arguing in the kitchen after we got back from the TV station from it being a complete disaster. And she was able to look me in the face and argue just like your real kid would. You know what I mean? And, she just brought an intensity and a fire to her. And it was funny because I've had grown men in 25 years of wrestling that couldn't look me in the eye in an argument. And here's this, 16-year-old girl that is fierce and confident. And it made the scene, and Lily Brooks, who plays Mandy, my middle daughter, she carried such an incredible story arc through the entire series. She had a lot of responsibility put on her shoulders with her character and everything that was developing, and she was just absolutely fantastic. Just an incredibly talented, hardworking young lady. People don't know that she's actually a really good singer and dancer, and those are some things that, if we get a season 2, we want to incorporate some more and showcase some of her talents. We've got some ideas for that. And then little Juliet stole everybody's heart this season, who plays JJ. She stole my heart from day one. I think when we did our first table read, she sat next to me and held my hand the whole time for the first table read for the networks. So it's just her and I are just two peas in a pod like that. When we go to lunch on set at Paramount, we'd hold hands and walk for lunch, and that was just that was her thing. She always had a dance to show me or a song to sing, or she's just such a wonderful person. She'll come right up to you and say, "I'm a hugger." And she just and she goes in for a hug. It's just such a talented little young lady as far as, a lot of times hitting her jokes and hitting her lines. She doesn't miss a line. It helps. She's got an idyllic photographic memory. That makes it easy.
Yeah.
It's great when she's sitting next to me and I forget my line, because then I can elbow her in between sets. What's that line? And then she'll tell me. I'm serious. I did that a lot. And then Allison Munn did a great job of playing that wife that's, basically married to a giant, dealing with 3 kids, running her own job, and trying to keep everything together. She was such a pro on set, giving me a lot of great tips on preparing for, reading scripts and stuff. My fingers were so big, it was hard for me
hard to flip through them.
No, it's hard for me to turn the pages.
Yeah.
So, then, she showed me how to put little tabs on. And then it was funny because sometimes your jokes will go from the bottom of the page or go over to the next page. Well, on run-throughs, I'm trying to turn the page to finish my joke on my line. And then sometimes the next script write, that joke would be gone. I'm like, why are they pulling my joke? She says, well, if it doesn't come off right, sometimes the writers get nervous and they'll pull it. I'm like, really? So I said, well, how do you stop that? She says, well, just finish your sentence out on the bottom of the page so you never have to turn it. So I got really paranoid about keeping all my jokes because I didn't know the first. I was like, oh, I wonder why they changed that. I wonder why they changed this, And then I started learning, like, oh, okay, I got to make you, because there was a lot of responsibility too, because nobody knew what I could do. It was really brave for, the writers, Josh and Jason, that were writing it, and Pixie was the showrunner, and there's this big, lovable superstar there, but nobody knew what I was bringing to the table as far as performance and integrity-wise. And I worked extremely hard. It's probably the hardest I've worked since I don't know when, just to make sure that every I was dotted, every T was crossed, everything that I could do on my end was done. And I had so much fun doing it, and met a lot of incredible friends. The crew, everybody that built our sets. These guys were so amazing. Like, you come in one day and there's a hockey rink in there. It's like when the hell did they do this? They're just so amazing and talented. And hopefully, everything gets up and running soon, because there's a lot of great people out there in California that aren't working right now. And hopefully they'll get back to work soon. They're just amazing,
sure.
Wonderful people.
And you also got to work and bring in some of your fellow WWE superstars.
Yes, I did.
Rashiki, Mark Henry, Foley. What did they say after did they have a blast?
Yeah, Rikishi and Mick and Mark, we've been friends for, long time. Back in my day, we had him swinging from the rafters. Those were great, but I wanted for that episode to be 3 guys that are great dads, that I knew personally were great dads, that were a little older, that were seasoned, but still had that childlike ability to have fun. And there's, all 3 of those guys have done so many great things over the years in WWE history and entertained everyone. Rikishi, we all know, how his career developed, and the crazy Samoan to Rikishi dance in the ring every night, and thousands of people dance along with him. Heck, I've danced along with him, and Mick Foley, all the stuff that he's done and still doing the comedy tour around the country. It was great to have those guys there because you knew you could count on them for what they needed to do. And they just brought so much to it. And even that Backstreet Boys song that we sang on the cruise, those guys jumped into that and just grabbed it by the horns and made it their own and took it and ran with it. Mick Foley had me literally laughing in the car for days after that shoot. Tell me why. Every time Mick would do that, I would ride along and think of Mick doing that, how he just, they all took those little parts, and just like you do as a WWE superstar, you take what you're given and you make it more by embracing it and going with it. And I love those guys. And Mark, they fell in love with Mark Henry. Like, everybody, the entire cast, my girls, all of them, they love Mark. Like, can we have Mark back more? I'm like, yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah, we don't need to have him back that much now.
Like, this is my show, Mark Henry.
Yeah, this is my show. This isn't the Big Show and Mark Henry show, But, he's got that, that sweet, lovable Texas drawl, and the kids just go right to him because he's just big and lovable, and his comedy timing was just so right on the point. He was so funny. And I've known that for years. Mark and I are pretty much best friends and been together for years, and I know how funny he is. And it was great to let those guys showcase their talent, and I'm so honored and flattered that they were part of it and did it. And what's funny is because you got to reach out when you're starting a TV show and nobody's seen it. You don't have many people lining up to do it, So you got to really go into your close friends and say, hey, guys, I need the help, please. And then now after it's done and after the other guys have all, now I go, hey, man, can I be on the show? Hey, man.
I was going to ask, who's like maybe reaching out to
I'm not going to drop any names. I'm not going to embarrass anybody, but there's a few guys. There's one guy that he's actually seen it and liked it and thought I did a good job, but I've actually get a verbal commitment out of him, is Stone Cold. And Steve hates doing scripted stuff. Steve likes his off the cuff and what? I don't know, man. I don't like doing that scripted stuff. That ain't what I'm doing. I ain't got time all day to read scripts and stuff. I just like to go out, turn the light on, and have a good time. So I managed to corner Steve and cajole him. So we get a season 2. We got an episode we got in mind for Steve. So
that'd be fun.
Because Steve Austin, he's just a whole nother level of funny and talented, and he would just light the show on fire if we had him on there for an episode. So that's awesome. That's a friendship trip I'm definitely cashing in. So yeah.
And for those who are watching right now, this is what's so cool about the Big Show show. Your love of wrestling, your love of comedies, good old humor, bringing those two worlds together.
Right.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Like, for those who haven't seen the Big Show show, hopefully getting season 2. But what do you like? What's the main takeaway you want people to have?
Well, the main takeaway, if you're a WWE fan, you're going to get a lot of what we call nods to wrestling. To my career, to some of the people I've worked with in my career. Some of the memorabilia, you'll see pictures around, and it's not saturated, but it's hinted at here and there. But the main story is a guy who's a world famous performer who's been all over the world, who's usually on a very busy lifestyle, who's now kind of retired and at home. So he's with the love of his life. He's with his girls, his wife, his daughters, and they're used to kind of doing things without him around all the time, because he's kind of like a giant puppy in a house full of bacon. He's all over the place. He's very enthusiastic. You can tell that the girls pretty much get away with murder with him. I mean, he tries to be the, but we all know who really runs the house. Who really runs the house is Allison, the wife. She runs the house. And it's just that relationship. And hopefully it's a family that you can watch and want to be a part of. And that was one of the things I was very concerned about when we were building the show. Is I wanted to show that everyone could watch, from the little kids all the way up to grandma. The humor is clean. The humor is fun. And it's not dumbed down at all. It doesn't make the parents look dumb. The kids aren't snarky and rude. They're kids, they still try to get away and do their own things, but they're not as sharp as they think they are. But something wholesome. And I think that was the one thing I want to get out of it was wholesome, and we were very lucky. Also, when you're thinking about it, my best friend in the show, the guy that plays my best friend is Julia White, who is, Urkel. And that dude is hysterical. I mean, there were so many scenes that were tough for me working with him because he was so funny. I was laughing when I should have been talking because he's just that funny. I mean, luckily with the TV show, you can camera edit and cut.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of times he'd make those faces at me and he was so funny in his timing and the way he would take a seemingly innocuous line, but he would find a way to deliver that line and make the most out of it. That was so funny. It's like, wow, this guy is a true veteran at this live comedy stuff. He's amazing. So he was such a pleasure to work with and such a good dude. Gave me a lot of good tips too, a lot of pro tips on some things, and I appreciate that knowledge he spit my way. So, but that's the thing. Season 2, we got a lot of plans. Hopefully, if we get a season 2, it'll work out, and everybody will enjoy it, and we'll pull them in, and we'll entertain them for a long time.
Yes, I hope for the same. We want season 2, but if you watch right now, make sure if you're have some time off this weekend, go hit up Netflix, watch season 1, so you can be prepped for what's going to happen.
It's 8 episodes. You can knock them out pretty quick. We've got 2 more episodes to drop. I know we've got one in August. We're going to drop. I'll be working towards that and doing a release date on that. And then there's another one later on this year that will drop. I don't think I'm allowed to say that yet because,
okay,
it's above my pay grade. My name's on the show, but it's above my pay grade. So, but, we've got a couple of little surprises to tease everyone along and bring them along. So,
awesome.
We'll just hope it's everybody enjoys it, and thank them for tuning in to Netflix and watching the Big Show. We did a great job coming out. We made #1 in family comedies, hit top 10 everywhere in the world. So we appreciate everyone watching. We love the support, and I love getting the messages on Twitter and social media when everyone, talks about their favorite characters or the scenes. And I appreciate hearing it because there's a lot of love and a lot of hard work and a lot of years went into making that show, and I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, Big Show, thank you so much for joining me here on the Braxton Beats.
Thank you for having me. I finally figured out how to get involved with a live video now. So I think I'm smart enough to do this now. Yeah, I can just do this all the time, run around my phone on live.
You should.
Yeah, I'm sure the world would love that. There's my cat. I go to the gym. I always see R-Truth doing this, and I said, how the heck does he do that? Because I just look at the button. I don't care.
Well, now you know.
Now I know. Now I know. So there you go.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again so much, and hopefully I will see you sooner than later.
Oh, you will. I'm around for a while now. I'll see you. Bye, buddy.
All right. Bye.